Hey everybody, this is LP Games, and welcome to another First Impressions episode. Should be episode 14, I believe. And today we're going to be taking a look at a game that I have had, well, a version of in my library for a very long time, but I haven't played it. The Stanley Parable. I've heard about this game for years. That's really good. I have seen a tiny bit of it played. I'm not sure where the stuff I saw is from. I don't think it's anywhere like near the beginning. I think it's near the end. But I've seen a little bit of this played. But I never played it myself. So let's go ahead and well, I need to set up everything still for this. I didn't do this part yet. You can see the sausage being made a little bit here, or you won't see it, but I will. You'll just see the screen going black here. Turn that off. We need to add another location. Audio capture. Stanley Parable. Okay. We want to have audio's on, but the game, okay, the game screen is off. There we go. All right, so, let's do this. Enter the current time. What the hell? It is currently 8:45. Let's say 46 p.m. But why can't I change the... There. There we go. Alright, so I know a little bit about this game. I know that it's a narrative game. Like it's mainly based around a story. That's about all I know about this, right? I don't know what kind of gameplay mechanics there are. I don't know what kinds of like, I don't necessarily know the genre of this game. Don't know if there's any kind of combat or anything like that. So what I'm going to classify this game as is a kind of like a point-and-click adventure sort of game. Not quite point-and-click in the term, the general classical term of that phrase, but an adventure game where there's no real combat or anything. It's just like a walking simulator, maybe. That's what I think this game is. So, with that in mind, how we're going to rate this is, well, the things I'm going to be looking for the most are going to be the writing and story. Those are going to be like the part of the hugest ones. Let's say the audio design would be the second one, because while art is important in these kinds of games, it's not necessarily that important. I think the sound is more important, because it's sound allows you to become immersed more easily, right? So looking for audio that's not really pulling you out of the moment of the place that you're in. Like, I'm expecting this game to be very atmospheric with sound and have very few places where there's actually, you know, like a background track or something. So art and gameplay mechanics are going to take a back seat on this one, I think. Okay, Let's begin. The end is never, the end is never.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, this is throughout the whole game?
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 4.
As I knew there was this like narration, but...
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to
Stanley
push,
is us,
how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in.
I mean, you just sit around and push a button all day and you get paid for it?
This job.
That's what I like about that.
Was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, okay. We can move around. Okay, so we don't really can't see our bodies, so kind of just free floating here. All right. So nothing's happening there. Wait. How come it sounds like I'm hitting keys when I'm not near the computer? That's interesting. Then when I'm looking at the computer, there's nothing. Huh. That's weird. I hate what? I guess it's Mondays. Unless they have some sort of new day of the week here. Alright, who doesn't hate Mondays? Guess we just started.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching no matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Who farted? Someone left their computer on. Let's hack into their email. Oh, well, hopefully they weren't working on anything important. Because they definitely lost that. That's definitely gone now. That's definitely an empty office building. Some paintings. Doors we can't open. Hey, 420. What about you? How to use help, window.exe. Calculator. Well, you don't need that, so we're going to turn that off. What else we got here that we can royally screw up? Let's see, what's this? Surname, access. What does this say? Access terminal. Enter your command, email. Something to network. Email 93. What is a strange number? you tell me what the significance of the number 111280 is. That's the significance. Let's see, 420 door? Can't go in there. Damn. What about any of these? None of those either. Oh, somebody's playing solitaire back there. Yeah, it's definitely solitaire. Oh, what's this say over here? Sales in this quarter, predictions going up. Some kind of weird thing saying no. This does not make sense. Food for Ted's birthday. Chips, blue loops, Waper sprouts. Whatever the hell that is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why though? Why go left? Why not go right? And the fact the narrator is saying it makes me want to go the other way.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Yeah, let's go stop by the employee lounge and see what's going on down here.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
You kidding me? most break rooms in corporate buildings are like tiny boxes.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality.
So the narrator can also...
This is why everyone left.
React to what you're doing. Interesting. Okay. I wonder if the narrator actually will directly interact with you at some point.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Breaking the fourth wall here, illusion. I can crouch. What does it say? What is it? What the hell? What is it about this place? The weeks I spent here, they feel like mere seconds. Seconds by extension. Feel so short they might as well not exist. It is the nature of this room. It's... oh, what the hell is that? Essence? It calls to me. Something of my soul. Something in me. What in the hell does this thing say? I cannot read any of this other stuff. Memory, or perhaps not a memory, but an insight into the past. The past that never happened. Also, I'm hungry. What the hell? Weird. What about these things? What do we got over here? We have 5th Annual Subcommittee Meeting of Internal Revenue Analysis for Committees of the Royal Revenue Discussion Club. A bunch of weird-ass paper things. What does this say? Fuel? Fuel. Worker fuel. Let's say I hate Monday's cup again, I think. Alright, let's go and see what's in here.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No, I don't think I will. We're gonna keep going straight. The hell
Stanley
is
was
this?
so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Can't go back. Do not lie if you're lying that right now. Stop. What the hell? Some kind of... I mean, this is like, you know, blueprinting sort of stuff here. Like people that create blueprints of buildings and things, this kind of stuff they use. But what the hell's going on out here? Some kind of construction of a new area or something? Warehouse, okay. Requires a key card? There is no jumping. Do not jump from the cargo lift while in motion will cause death. Penalty may see us $1,000. Oh, if you hit right click, you walk forward. Interesting. Gotta be careful to right click then. Well, I guess we gotta go over here.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
The hell?
She's been waiting.
Okay, the narrator's directly interacting with us now. Okay, so we definitely have fourth wall breaks on a crazy level in this game. So who is this person that... Wait. Maybe not. There goes the... Well, on the way to go forward, I guess. Yeah, let's be a Rio. Be forklift man for a day. Some more crazy papers down there. Whoa.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
This is just plugged into the wall. Where's the actual, you know, telephone cable? I guess we'll answer it.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
So 427, so is this like our apartment or something? That's our employee number.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Wait, what? What can we go in there for? Press Q on your keyboard. Why?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press V. No, it doesn't do anything if you hit Q again. No, so that's the one that says. Okay, V.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Please press so Q, V, and B.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press I to watch TV. So QVBI.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys. What the hell?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
To prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
We have
down one path
things.
lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
The hell? Your kid's a story?
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Press F. I think that is intentional.
But there is no answer.
Oh,
how could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer.
This is our
as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. It's be at work in the morning. Okay, not doing the thing. Well, not doing the thing would be doing the thing. So not doing the thing. But nothing is happening, so I guess we're going to do the thing. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Press J to question nothing.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. and I tried again.
Please
And Stanley
die.
pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
The hell? Oh. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I guess we're at the beginning again. Well, again, screw your thing there. Apparently, you don't need that anymore. Doors still don't open. Bye-bye terminal. 420 door still locked. Yes,
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Input received. Didn't do anything though.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Yeah, still not gonna go down the left.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
There's nothing else this way, is there?
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, was that different dialogue? I think it was.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
To be one.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red
Where's
door.
Morpheus? Did you say the red door or the blue door? I think you said the red door, so I'm taking the blue pill. Screw the real life.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
No, give me that matrix.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Nope, give me the matrix.
All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map. Because you were never supposed to be here in the first place.
When
Broken
the
rooms, exposed
hammer is
developer
this?
textures. Is this what you had wanted?
Was
it
it
worth
Stanley Parable
ruining the
Half-Life
entire
2
story
mod?
I'd written out specifically
I think it was,
for
wasn't
you?
it originally?
Do you not think I put a lot of time into
These
that?
are
Because I
source
did.
town.
And in
like
the end, it was
test
all
wall
for nothing.
textures.
Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what.
Skill trees.
Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
So if you're wondering what all these things are, right? These are tiles. They're essentially debug, or not debug, but placeholder tiles in Source Engine. It's part of Hammer, which is the mapping software for Source. And they're essentially textures that you can use for scale. That allow you to scale out certain things and build around them to make sure that your walls or your doors or whatever are the proper size, and that the things you build around them are the proper scale to those things. So like this, for example, 64 by 64. So this is 64 units to 64 units. And if you were trying to build a ceiling light like this, and didn't do it some other way, these other ceiling textures wouldn't line up properly. Well, I mean, we have to take this this janky ass source door because we just have to.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
For your experience.
Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that
Feedback
the game
area.
benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
So these are these ones are custom textures that are made to look like the default ones. Yeah, and you also had these gray ones too. You had the orange and gray. Please rate your experience. I mean, is there anybody that's not going to hit 1? Who would not hit 1 just to see what will happen? You know? We're back in the giant source room again with this thing in the middle now, though. All these light sources hanging around the outside there. Yeah, and light sources, no lights. It's typical source, early source mapping kind of stuff. We're going to hit 1 just because I want to see what happens.
A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Whoa. What's this? Stanley Parable World of Lore leaderboard. Okay. Good old Neil. Hogarth. Stanley. This is you. Last place. 7.5 hours. How long does it take you to get to the correct door? Compete against others to improve Stanley Parable. The hell? We're going back to this door.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours.
4 hours.
So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience. You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha!
No thrilling way.
What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Supplies for 2 forks. Goldman. Suds. Lookout Cookbook. Forest Service. National Forests of Wyoming. This is nuts. What the hell? This is no shit friggin' Firewatch. Welcome to paradise. Supplies for 2 forks. Flora of the Shoshone. Truck, Alaska. What's this? Who watches the Firewatch? Ha! The, anybody that's, over 28 knows about the S. Clorox. No, Chlorotox, even. Don't tread on me. I'm gonna tread on you. Tread on you good. Well, technically I don't have any feet, so I don't know if I'm actually treading on you or not. This is nuts. They actually recreate this place? They like literally recreated Firewatch. What the hell? Yeah, there's propane tanks over here. Was Firewatch made by the people that made Stanley Parable, or is this just a homage or something? They got permission to do this.
Oh no. No, it can't be.
Can't be what?
It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
What?
Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You really wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
No way. Rocket League?
Wonderful.
Seriously?
See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. there isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Well, where's the ball?
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball.
Sports
what
ball.
Fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Whoa. Whoa. Wait, we can move this thing? Whoa, what the hell? You can actually kick it.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Whoa. 2 balls.
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls!
More balls.
Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun? Is this a real video game? Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what?
If you knock him
it's
into the
over.
goal.
That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I'm structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid. You'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best. Take care, Stanley.
So what's over on is another pit over here? Let's go find out. So we got, yeah, it's a pit over here too. So we got 2 pits. Well, I think we know the only way to go from here. That is, we have to throw ourselves down the hole. One of them, anyway. Well, let's start with the orange goal. Let's see what happens. So I don't think we're going to hear back from the narrator. I don't think. Alright. Here we go.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Oh.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
What the hell? This is wild. Filing cabinets. 64 by 86. Work in progress. Yeah, a lot of these things are like actual tiles from... Yeah, it's gonna be a pit there. Yeah, it's got a pit there too. I don't think there's any floors that continue out. At least not those. Oh, well. Whoa. Oh wow, this isn't old. looking map. This is like, you know, original source mapping almost, kind of look to it. I wonder if this is the game? The original game or something. Maybe. Can't go that way. It came from over here. So everything kind of leads into this room. .424. Yeah, I wonder if this is like the old version of this game. Like the original version of it. Because this is like this is the kind of source mapping you would see back in the day. From people just starting out making maps and whatnot. It's like really blocky corridors. These two-toned wall textures. Maybe some light every once in a while to add a little bit of extra. Oh, look at this. There's our room. Nothing else going on there. Oh.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice. And if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
This game is nuts.
Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Oh my god, we're back at the beginning again. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Nope, gotta turn all those computers off. Wasting power. They're wasting the power, Jimmy. Oh wait, this changed. This was over here before. What the hell? And now it has two things on it, not just one. Interesting. Turn you off. Well, let's continue.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay, let's go left this time. Those are all closed.
Yet there was not a single person here
Meeting
either.
room?
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Mergers, IT department. We are broke. Wednesdays. Financial panic meeting. Boss's inspection. Group 42X. Office Party, 8-bird. This box is too small. Kerbal planning, group planning. Floor 4XX. Interesting, so we're on floor 400 something. Weekly targets, admin, I guess. Marketing Mondays. Termination Tuesdays, got. Office efficiency, legal. What is this? 451's private time, what the hell? Ideas plus development. What to do about 432. Don't tell 422 about the meeting. Pranking floor 5 meeting. Nice, that's a good meeting. Something mergers. Peer review of weekly review. Pre-review of weekly review. Do not alter without consulting whiteboard manager. Rip Franz. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next day's agenda. Reflect. Future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Not cost efficient. Standardize graphs. 40 times wide. Ongoing. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper guy. Paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of whatever. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Things of money, more money. There's broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Wait, what's this Chris thing?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Huh. Yep.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Guess we'll go upstairs then. Oh, what's this? Executive bathroom. Whoa, what the hell? Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss has suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. What the hell? Extreme bathrooms, what the frack? Mirror didn't work, apparently. What's this say? I am the most expensive boss. What's this? No, Panda. Business strategy is to hold pandas hostage. Apparently. Oh, an elevator. How does if we go down? Comes complete with elevator music. Nice. Stanley. What the hell? What's this? Recommendation of that oversight stuff. Short history of the relations between Poland and Austria-Hungary. A dissertation on World War I. This is taking a while. Taking a long time. What the hell? You can't even really read that, except for the title. What's going on here? Wait, what? That's weird. You can't see it, but I am facepalming right now. This is a goddamn troll, isn't it? This doesn't actually move anywhere. Ha! I have been got. Well played, game. Wait, everything in this... No, okay, it's already turned off. Good. This is the boss's office?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Yeah, tell me what the thing is, huh? So, 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
This is like Portal vibes now. What the hell? We are outside the testing facility. Oh, this is more... I think this is more, like, test... textures from source, because this is like another default wall texture people use a lot. What is this stuff? Link plus? Guess the only way to go is over here. Loading.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Whoa. Sparking off a bit.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control
way.
Facility.
Oh, can't go back now. Literally Professor X and Alright, what do we got?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Okay, where is
did
the
he
old
have
crusty
the strength
bastard?
To find out?
I kick his ass. Maybe he's the narrator. He's been in the Matrix the whole time.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What the hell? Wait, go back. Where's it? Show me the camera. Oh, so this is the office. Interesting, okay. And like cameras all over the place that probably seen me doing all kinds of stuff. Turning off all the computers, for example. So we go from here. Guess we push this button.
This mind control facility,
What'd that do?
it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job?
Oh.
That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly
control.
blind to the world?
They haven't explained a couple things.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
This is quite interesting. Didn't do anything. Power facility power. Mind control idle awaiting input. System power on or
And when
off?
at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What the hell? Well, I mean, if we become the master, then we control the universe. So I say we turn it on.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
The hell?
After they kept you enslaved
Maybe.
all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for
Yeah, why
yourself.
not?
Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But
Maybe
you
we
need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification,
Who gave the
nuclear
narrator this
detonators are
power
set
to
explode,
do this?
eliminating the entire
What?
complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
Okay.
Ah,
good,
now
2
this
minutes.
is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your
So
time
what do
to
we need to do?
shine. You are the star.
we gotta turn it
It's
off.
your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than
Nope.
what I had in mind. What a
It's not
shame
working
we have
anymore.
so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
They're numbered,
Wait,
so I'm guessing we have to hit them in a
what all
certain
this
sequence.
means, I barely know where to start. What's that?
3,
You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
1, 2.
A moment of
Okay, let's try
solace
this.
before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine.
Wait,
I
what?
set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply
Failsafe
let you
is not
sit there
failsafe.
in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it
It's a
burn to
number
a
3.
crisp. I have to say
Where's
this,
number
though,
3?
this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's
Number
quite
1.
rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
3.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. Damn. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
That's gonna restart again, isn't it? Okay. I think I got enough of this game to get an idea. Oh my god. What in the hell? Okay. Stanley Parable. Definitely an adventure-ish kind of game. So far there hasn't been any real combat situations. A lot of super sarcastic humor. I love that kind of stuff.
All of his
appears to be...
What could it mean?
Different
Stanley
routes
decided
to the
to go
story.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a
that send you back to the beginning here.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace.
I don't know if they're like the actual endings or just like, you know, troll stuff. So far, like every time we've ended up restarting, it's been because of something that's kind of troll. So I think it's probably mostly troll stuff. There may only be a couple actual real endings. Oh, I think my mouse just died. Not the game froze or something. So my mouse was low on power. Let's see. Okay, that was it. Good. I was like, the game just froze. So, okay. Gameplay, design, and mechanics. So, this game is very simplistic in terms of the mechanics, right? You can walk around, you can look around, there's interactions, you can crouch. There's the interact key on that. That's pretty much it so far, though. You can't really do too much other than that. There's no fancy gadgets and gizmos. You're just wandering around doing stuff and having things happen. So mechanic-wise, there isn't that much. Game design, on the other hand. So game mechanics is part of game design. That's one of the things I mostly focus on. Some of the other aspects of game design, though, are how the, like during cutscenes, how the game effects kind of work together to help with that. The use of proper effects during cutscenes. So this is kind of stuff we haven't really discussed or talked about before. Because it really hasn't had a real reason to come up, because, you know, in all the other games we played so far, cutscenes are pretty much, you know, standard fare. In this game, though, and in other narrative-driven games like this game, The way that effects and stuff are used is highly important. This game does that really well. Turn you off again. I'm curious. Nope, stay off. Where's the thing? What? It's not here anymore. The input thing is gone. Interesting. I wonder if it's on another computer somewhere. Like, I wonder if it's a random computer, period, just hanging out somewhere. I don't see it anywhere, though. There seems to be, like, a lot of side paths that do different things. There's a lot of jokey bullcrap that's going on. Narrator is just... The narration in this game is on a sarcasm level that is near to house level sarcasm. Not quite to the master that is house, but pretty close. Pretty close. Still can't get over to the solitaire room over there. So for this game, for gameplay mechanics and design, 9 out of 10. Easy 9 out of 10. So the reason for the 9 is that is simplistic. There's not really much to do in here. We haven't really found anything we can pick up and carry around with us so far. Can't really interact with much. There's not really much to do other than just walk around and trigger different events. So, one off for that. Otherwise, 9 out of 10. Could easily go to 10 out of 10. And further than we go. Audio design. So far, the audio design is kind of what I was expecting it to be. What I was looking for, which is mostly atmospheric. Some light, very soft background music, background track in the background. Major events that we run into have more sound effects, more loud sound effects. Some even have actual backtracks themselves, like the explosion bomb thing. That whole sequence had a background track to it. But very good use of ambient sounds. And very good use of like thematic and like tension building kind of sounds and things. So for sound design, I'll give this and voice acting too. Voice acting is pretty good. The voice acting on the narrator is really good. But for sound design, we'll give this an 8 out of 10. It is not perfect. It could be a little bit better here and there and go different places, but it's good for what it is. Art design. So for the art design, I gotta add points for the use of the source default textures. That's a call out to all Hammer users in the world that hey, look at this stuff. We remember this stuff too, kind of thing. I gotta add points for that. Add at least 1 point for that. It's kind of interesting, the art design. It's very bare bones, but at the same time, it's it looks like an office building would look like. Nothing too fancy. It's got square rooms that are filled with all kinds of crap. Doors everywhere. So definitely looks the way it should.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And the level design too is pretty good. I especially like the whole old source mapping kind of style maps that we found in the last run. This is pretty cool. But yeah, so I give this a 8 out of 10. Could be a couple things to make this better, but not much. What does that leave? Story. So far the story in this game has been insane. We kind of have a little bit of an idea of what's going on. You're playing as Stanley. He works for this company. You're in this office building. You have like a dorm or something that your employer provides to you. And you just work here pushing buttons on a computer for most of your time. And then something happens, you don't know what, and everybody's gone. And you are left to wander around in purgatory forever, apparently. I like the branching narratives. Like, if you go down a certain path, you get an entirely different set of dialogue from the narrator. And sometimes it seemed like we're getting multiple dialogue for going down the same route multiple times. Multiple, different dialogues. Which is pretty cool, too.
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
That's a perfect example of the sarcastic wit of the narrator. So I like that. There seems to be like a lot of different ways through the game, right? Maybe only a couple that are actually true endings, but there seems to be all kinds of things you can trigger to happen by just going down certain routes at certain times, doing certain things, what have you. So while the main kind of story plot thread, whatever, isn't really that interesting or good, or like elaborate, just the fact that there's all this extra stuff, like in addition to that, that's all based on what you do, is amazing. So for story, this game gets a 10 out of 10, easily. Easy 10 out of 10. So, overall. I gotta give this game a 8.5 out of 10. I was thinking about 9, it's a little bit too high for some of the lower ones. 8.5 kind of splits it a little bit more. It's a little more of a reasonable chunk. So far, really interesting game. Digging like the narration and like the fourth wall breaking kind of stuff. I like that your actions have consequences. Like you turning on the mind control thing causes the place to blow, so you have to restart essentially. So that's kind of an interesting thing. The fact that it keeps restarting and restarting and restarting is also an interesting thing about the game. It almost feels like a roguelite in a way, but I haven't seen much of anything change yet. Like, all seems pretty standard, except for a couple of pieces of dialogue here and there. So, I don't know. Yeah, pretty cool game. Highly recommend you check it out if you like these kinds of games. And that is all I have to say. I'm not sure what the next game will be, so I will let you know when we get closer to that date. But yeah, comments, questions, leave them below. Appreciate it. I'm planning on getting YouTube back up and kind of stable as far as releases go. I tried to get most of the stuff over the last week. Actually, this is going to be like back first week of May. That's when I'm doing this recording. I tried to get stuff, back on schedule. Didn't do a particularly good job of that, but we did get some stuff up. Been mainly focusing on recording the 2 main projects, so because I don't really have a lot of time recently, and those 2 things are kind of the bigger things I need to get done for YouTube. So been using the time I don't really do to get things up onto YouTube to just record those and get those ready, edited, rendered, and uploaded and released when they need to be. Hopefully by the end of the month I'll be back to regular streaming, or at least regular streaming schedule. So at least some kind of streaming during the week. I'm planning on 3 days, probably like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I think. I'm leaving Tuesday, Thursday, and the weekend off for now, just so I can work on a couple things and try and get some large amount of footage rendered out, and to get myself to do some work on the Discord bot to like give myself time to work on that, and also work on stuff for the game. Because right now, what I think I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working on those plugins off stream, the 3 that I've been working on for a while: the item, magic crafting, magic schools, and codex plugins. I'm going to finish those off stream, and then we'll start the next series of plugins on stream at some point. I do think that when I come back, we're going to have mostly game dev. So, like, we'll probably have Wednesdays and Fridays, we're still going to have Zone Saga, or Mondays and Fridays. We'll still have Zone Saga on Mondays. We'll still have FF Legacy on Fridays. But on Wednesdays and Fridays, or Fridays for the first half of the stream, or maybe the second half, will be game dev. And then if I do any streams on the weekend, I might do like a stream here and there on the weekend. That's definitely game dev as well. Because I am horrifically behind on all kinds of things related to Emilar at this point. There's just too much going on at the moment. And I probably inadvisedly have started up a new YouTube series that will not see the light of day for a while, but I am recording it. I've been watching Maui go through and learn Godot, watched a couple of Godot streamers, watched Ragnarok learning Godot a while ago, and decided that because I was digging through stuff in my garage the other day, and I found a old computer game guide that I had forgotten that I had. I don't know how this made it all the way with me through all these years, because it was definitely the kind of thing that would have gotten thrown out at some point, at some point by somebody along the way, like over the last almost 30 years now or something. 20 years or whatever. But it's a 98, so yeah, almost like 20 years now. No, it would have been 30 years, because 20 would be back to the early the aughts, as they're called, early 2000s. So almost 30 years. Damn, that's yeah. So I'm surprised I still have this. So if you've heard of this game, it's called Stars. It's a very old game, released in 1998 on the originally for Windows 95, I think. Made by Empire Interactive, who are now defunct, and the companies that bought them are defunct, and the companies that bought that company are defunct. But it's a really old 4X game. And it's primarily menu-based. There's not that much in terms of graphics. So I figured, you know what? If I'm going to learn Godot at some point, because I think it'd be an interesting thing to do, right? Because it seems like it's a really kind of intermediary step between like RPG Maker and Unreal. And I mean, I already know Unreal fairly well, but at the same time, before I jump into making like a game in Unreal, full-ass game in Unreal, maybe I should, baby step through Godot or something, first. So what I decided to do, and the fact that I still have this guide kind of is like, maybe it's just meant to be. I'm actually going to be remaking this game in Godot, or trying to. And I've already got the menus kind of working for it. Some of the menus working for it. The guide for this game is at least 150 pages long. It's like literally like almost a small like textbook sized book. And what's kind of crazy about this guide is that it actually has like mathematical formulas in it for some things. Like there's formulas for shield strength, there's formulas for cloak effectiveness and cloak detection effectiveness based on different things. There's all kinds of like stuff talking about how the different systems in the game works. And I can use this to rebuild the game from the ground up. So, just an interesting thing I'm going to try and do. But it is yet another good project that I don't have time for. But still, you know, I like to have lots of things going, so if I get bored with something or just have some time that I want to use for something and don't want to, like, spend it doing something else, just, you know, jump onto some random project. So I got that going on too. That'll be going up onto YouTube at some point. I'm going to finish the game first and then, like, have all the footage, you know, done and rendered out and whatnot. It's not going to be as produced as, like, the RPG Maker series is that we got going on right now, but it's going to be, it'll be kind of more akin to the Emilar dev vlogs, where there's, like, little to no editing, basically. So, and this is, like, me learning how to use GLaDOS while making a game, because I haven't used GLaDOS before. It seems really similar to Unreal in terms of, like, how the general kind of editor and stuff works, but, like, the coding GLaDOS script is way different. That said, though, it's been pretty easy so far for me to pick it up, outside of some, like, dealing with the fact that the documentation for version 4 is non-existent or really bad. And I've been able to muddle through most of the things so far. The thing that gave me the most trouble so far has been signals, trying to figure that out. But I did manage to figure that out eventually. Signals are just basically events. I don't know why they didn't call them events, but they're called signals in GLaDOS for who the hell knows why. So, really interesting stuff. So be on the lookout for those. Those will be coming out at some point, probably later in the year. Yeah, we're going to go from there and see what happens with streams and such. But yeah, thanks for watching. If you like the content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to get notified about other content that I am releasing. Do a bunch of different game walkthroughs and Let's Plays and stuff at the moment. Persona 5, we're doing Strikers once we finish that. We got Bloodborne going on, we got Half-Life Legacy back up and going. We got FF7 Remake hard mode going. Once that's done, I'll be jumping into uploading the intergrade stuff, or intermission stuff. Yuffie's, the Yuffie DLC stuff. And then we got the game dev stuff for Emilar on during the weekend as well. I am uploading videos for 2 viewer-made games, Familia, which is made by Maui Game Studio, and Shadow Fate, which is made by Hunting Swan, but I have to find more of the footage and render it out. I'm actually out of footage for those at the moment, so those aren't getting uploaded. Even when I get back to getting more regularly uploading stuff and releasing it. That stuff will still be on the back burner for a bit. And so I got to go through folders and folders and folders of footage, because I wasn't properly organizing stuff back then. Like late 2021, early 2020. So it's all in the same kind of general folders. I have to go through all the, like, literal 6 terabytes of recordings that I have. Takes a while. Those will be coming back eventually. Familia is pretty much almost done. Shadow Fate is about another, like, we're only halfway through Shadow Fate, I think, at this point. So still quite a bit there to go. Yeah, that's what's going on. So I'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you in the next video, whether it's the next one of these for whatever game we're doing, or it's the RPG Maker stuff, or what have you. But I will see you in that video, and I will catch you guys later.